All right. Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. How are you doing? It's Nancy here on the Money Matrix on Navigate with Nancy November edition on the theme, the Money Matrix. And tonight we are discussing managing money for creatives. All right, so this month is dedicated to creatives, and we are discussing tonight managing money for creatives. Okay, if you are in the crypto space, you would have paid attention to the bearish season. Everybody is waiting for the next bull run, but what happened? What happened in this one? Can anybody in one paragraph categorically explain to me how dollar is 680 this evening? Anybody? Past questions. Who is the class prefect? Is there class prefect here? Class prefect, pass attendance sheet. Let everybody start marking attendance and start sharing the paper for the quiz. My question is, can somebody explain to me how dollar is 680 as at 8 p.m. today? What is going on? All right. And how does that concern you? How does that pertain to you as a creative in the gig economy at this time, in this times, on this very day, at this very moment? We will be discussing all of that tonight on Navigate with Nancy. In case you're just seeing my channel for the very first time, my name is Nancy Obu. I'm a prolific master of ceremonies from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm an all-round creative video advert expert and content strategist. And you are welcome to my channel. Woo! My God. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight. It's a pleasure to be here. I am super, 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 super happy to be bringing this episode of the show to you all. Kindly let me know where you're joining from. Let me know where you're joining from, guys. Let me know in the comments. I'm looking at the comment section. Let me know where you are joining from. And we are going to go straight into my slides. You guys know I love teaching, right? You know now. You know how we roll here. You get it. Understand? Yeah. Hi, Okeze Nelson Onwe Melie. Where are you joining from? You're welcome. Nelson is my first. What do we give Nelson now? Puff, puff, or dodo? Which one? Nelson, what do you want? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Tell me about it. What do you want? For being the first person to comment, what do you want? All right, guys. Okay. Please let me know that you can see me and you can see my screen. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know that you can see me and you can see my screen. Okay. Uh okay. Hold up. We are gonna come back to that. Guys, let me know that you can see me and you can see my Lagos. Okay. Lebeshi says I can see you and I can see the screen. I'm gonna be just a minute. Right. Okay, beautiful. All right, I fixed that. So I'm gonna bring that screen up again so that we run. Lucky Ebube, I can see you beautiful. Oh my god, I'm blushing. Is it pink? Oh. Welcome everybody. So let's get right into what we're here for today, right? All right. So I'm gonna go grab my screen again. And this time I believe I am ready to go. Exactly. Yes. Okay. So tonight we are discussing managing money for creatives. This is on the series The Money Matrix, making, managing, and multiplying money for creatives. Okay, so last week Thursday, we discussed making money. If you missed that episode, go back to my channel and you would find it there. It has about over 1,000 viewers as at the last time I checked. Go back to that particular episode so that you can, be in tandem with what we are discussing today. All right. Okay, so that's just all about it. The theme for November is the money metrics. On Navigate with Nancy, we have themes for the month, and we now have subtopics within the month to discuss the theme. All right. So for this month of November, it is the money metrics. Okay, so today we are discussing money. So when you mention money, what comes to mind? What is it? It is currency. What does it really mean? Everybody in this my presentation right now, everybody is wondering. So what does that mean, Nancy? And I'm about to explain because I believe that's the thought going on in your head right now. So first things first, currency comes from the Latin word currere. Currere means to run or to flow. Stay with me, listen attentively, don't miss anything. If you're supposed to be writing, write these things down, okay? And money means is another Latin word that means to warn. Very interesting. To run or to flow and to warn. Beautiful. Now, what does a currency do? It's very, I know it's a word you've heard over and over and again, and you've come to associate it with money, which is why I had to put that definition there in the first place. But what does a currency actually do? It serves as a common denominator to value our goods and services. That is the job of a currency, right? Now, how can we define currency? Currency serves as a means of exchanging commodities and services. From the definition of the Latin word that you saw earlier, it has current. It flows. Stay with me, all right? Now, currency was not always money. Of course, if you're a student of history or if you've ever paid attention to your history as a person, Nigerian, American, Australian, Indian, wherever, your people, humans, did not start trading with currency. Before currency came, there was the barter system. And this had to do with cowries, with shells, some with gunpowder, basically with whatever a people agreed to exchange for goods or services or commodities with another people. So the barter system, what in the barter system, currency was not always money. Currency was anything at all that you could use to have an exchange of goods or services or commodities until 1000 BC that China introduced paper bills. Yes, paper bills as we know it came from China. It's very funny that as Nigerians, most times when they say, that thing is China, like in layman's term, we're trying to say it's not original. It's very funny because the same country still makes products available for top countries of the world, and those products are top notch. So if you ask me, why does it look like more inferior products are being brought in from China into some third world countries? It is not because China does not have the ability to create top notch products. No, it is because the people who place the demand for the products and services from China place the demand for inferior quality. Now, I say this for you to think about it for a moment. So for every single time they say China, it don't bring it, don't put it side by side with, oh, it's not gonna be top notch. No, it is who is making the demand from the country to bring into his or her own country. What kind of products, what quality of products is he or she making demands for? All right. So I said all of that to buttress this point again that in 1000 BC, China introduced paper bills. And like most innovations, everybody thought they were crazy. And after a long time, the frictions, the arguments, today we have US dollar, we have the UK pound sterling, we have Chinese yuan, we have the euro, we have the Nigerian naira. You can go ahead and add your country's currency here. It's a good place to add that, right? But currency was not always money. Okay. Now, as creatives, understanding the history of currency, understanding the history of money, and coming to this point that we are now using paper bills in exchange for our services or products as creatives, how do we manage it? How do we manage this measure of payment? How do we do that? And I want to start from going from the known to the unknown. If you've been in any of my anywhere I speak, I like to start from the known to the unknown. So I'm going to start by saying some of the things that you're familiar with and gradually ease you into the places, patterns, discussions that you may or may not be familiar with. So the very first thing that is quite known, everybody seems to know, is what we call budgeting and the rule that applies. Now, listen, I'm going to be talking about this in generic terms, but I'm going to bring it down to creatives. As someone who has evolved in so many dimensions of her life, who has been from one skill to the other, who has explored the gig economy over a period of 10 years, I can categorically tell you with authority and a level of certainty that the things I'll tell you tonight, if you apply them in terms of your finances, you are going to see tremendous change. Even as at this time that it is just 1 month left to the end of the year. I promise you that. All I need you to do is pay attention to the very end. And when you are done, apply it. Information is useless when you know it and do not apply it. Knowledge is power when you apply it. The power of knowledge is in the application of the knowledge. All right? All right. We agree on that now. So the very first thing, the rule of budgeting, we know the 50-30-20 rule. What does this rule say? This rule say that you allocate 50% of your income to your needs. Now, these needs are housing, food. It's very funny that today one of my interns made a video on Instagram asking if food if food was actually a need or a want, because she doesn't understand why we're telling her to save. All these saving apps are asking her to save. Can she go back to the savings platform and take her money back when she has to eat? And that video was quite funny. Tipsy, if you're here, you're very, very funny. And I love you just like that, girl. All right. So food, transportation, basic utilities, and insurance. 50%. Now on insurance, hold on there. If you are Nigerian, I can't seem to quite figure why Nigerians have a love-hate relationship with insurance. And I'm gonna tell you free of charge. You're not paying me to say this to you, but I'm gonna say it to you regardless. Insurance will save you on the days you least expect it to. I'll give you an example. I had a friend, in fact, the person who introduced me to health insurance, right? There are different types of insurance. There's car insurance, facilities, equipments for creatives like I, who is in the video media industry. You can insure your lights, you can insure your ACs, you can insure every single thing in your office, and that simply protects you against factors you cannot control in Nigeria, like some people waking up and deciding that today they will loot your store and they stop at nothing to loot it, and you come there in the morning and you meet an empty office. All right. So when you do insurance, it takes off the load. Okay, but I'm talking about health insurance now. That is where I want to talk. I want to focus on for creatives, because this webinar is for creatives. All right. So this my friend that introduced me to health insurance. We were out one time having dinner in some fancy restaurant somewhere in Lekki, and I was like, "You just came back from where was that? I don't know the country, but he had a particular surgery done in Nigeria, and then he felt like, oh, he needed to have some other when he got himself, because as at the time the surgery was going on, he could not move, he was losing weight. We couldn't identify what exactly it was until the problem was fixed. It was somewhere in his legs, it was getting rotten and all of that, and a hospital in Nigeria was able to fix that. But he just went abroad because, for someone who's well traveled all his life, he just wanted that, let me be sure before something else goes wrong again. But I'm not talking about the abroad movement now. I'm focusing on the hospital bills whilst he was in Nigeria. Number one, in Nigeria, you pay to see a doctor. You pay for prescription, you pay for the medication. If you have to lie on the bed, you pay for the bed you're lying on. You pay for the space. Now, I don't know if the bed and the bed space are the same, but some hospitals will say you pay for bed, some will say you pay for bed space. But I don't work in hospitals, so I wouldn't know. But what insurance does for you is that for as little as 2,500 naira monthly, listen, 2,500 naira monthly, you can have a bill of 500,000 in a hospital and your insurance covers it. Notwithstanding that since you started or since you got on the insurance, you have not invested up to 100,000. We're not praying for bad things to happen, but as creatives, that we our minds are continually stressed and stretched. We are always on the move. This body is our vehicle, and this vehicle can break down at any time. And as much as you make money, I want you to start thinking about the what ifs and start putting some guidelines around your what ifs. And on this question of budgeting for your 50%, on which we identified needs as 50%, and on that need, we've identified insurance as a need. Please go get your health insurance, all right? You could Google health insurance options available in Nigeria or in your location, health insurance available in Enugu, in Jos, and you have all of that at your fingertips. You don't need to come to NAMS. I'm not a doctor, or I don't give insurances, but you could Google and find out, all right, and get one. It is very important. It's gonna help your life. Okay. Now, all of that aside, need 30% wants. What are the ones here? Entertainment, travel, fashion, gears, gig economy, gears. All right. Now, the 20%, you spend that on your emergency fund, saving for retirement, and servicing your debts. Can somebody is going to say, Nancy, I've come again. What do you mean by retirement? What do you mean by emergency fund? Okay, this is where it becomes really, 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 it gets really, really interesting. As creatives, we have this, for example, let me just use what I do almost every week. I do everything almost every week, but MCing, right? When you tell an MC to start saving for retirement, the MC is going to be wondering, which retirement? What do you mean by retirement? I've not even done half. I never even grind finish. The talk make I retire. Now that was the problem with the gig economy. Most of us do not sit down to imagine life outside of what we do. Like we cannot imagine that we'll take a pause and just breathe and just be, and there is money that we've worked for. We've worked so hard for somewhere that can take care of us the day we say, oh, I just want to breathe, or the day we say, you know what, I think at this age I want to now just teach people, I want to just coach and just be. So you live from the next event to the next event to the next event to the next event. There is no part of you that thinks about what happens when I'm 50, when I'm 60, when I'm 70. There is no part of you that tries to think. Someone like Ali Baba, does it mean that at his age, the only thing he does is MCing? Are there other factors he has put in place that enable him to have a life where he can rest and still be okay? This is not just for MCing, it's going to apply to a lot of people. So think about it in your space, all right? And that is the 20% for the budgeting part. Now we're moving from the known to the unknown. We're gonna go to what I call the creative struggle. What is the creative struggle? New gears. Canon 5D Mark 4 just came out. Now it's 60. 7. There's 8D. My goodness. New apps. We were writing posts on we were just sending messages on Instagram before. On Facebook, now there's Instagram. And now there's WhatsApp community. You're still trying to catch up. And now there's AI. You can use AI to actually write things and it's easier. You're still trying to breathe. There's you have to do landing pages. Okay, no, no, no. These old ones are not working again. WordPress website is now very stressful. You have to there will always be something new. Why? Because people are thinking, people are coming up with creative solutions to complex problems, right? We all agree that is the creative struggle. My goodness, all of us are in it, right? Then there is the issue of events. You have to show up. They gave me award for most iconic brand of the year. They gave me award for most passionate NGO founder of the year. They gave me award for. But sometimes when you sit down and think about these awards, in the global scheme of things, they don't matter. They don't. We know the ones that matter, right? We know the ones that are cooked up in some rooms just to get attention, get your money, put some buzz. Come on, it's the internet. It's easy to create a buzz and get everybody in the room and make it all shiny. Oh, it's trending. It's trending for who? Who is putting it there? In the global scheme of things, how does it make sense? How does it add to me? Then there's the trend. Oh, okay. So right now, um, everybody is doing talking head videos. They have background lights, they have soft boxes, they have this camera, they have those big microphones, and you jump on it. Great. They have communities. Oh my god, if you're not, are you in that club? Did you know that they're doing a hangout? The hangout is 20K. Let's go, let's go. Next time the hangout is 30K. Next time the hangout is 40K. Next time the and gradually you sit down and understand that you've joined the creative struggle. Because it's very easy for creatives to almost, if not always, have imposter syndrome. So you're always looking for what to add to what you're doing for it to make sense. You're always looking for who to join so that what you're doing would make sense. Meanwhile, that idea is for you. When you own it and show up as you, it makes sense. You make it make sense. But because you've joined the struggle, you are spending money that you are making, believing that more will come. Where is the management skill for wealth creation and wealth building? Where is it? The creative struggle. Right, moving on. The third one is you have to gain mastery over impulsive spending. We are talking about managing money for creatives. Listen to me. This rule of thrice, as propagated by Nancy Obue, states that if you cannot afford it thrice, one, two, three. If you cannot afford it thrice, do not buy it. Whatever it is that you are, please leave your questions till the end. I'm going to take questions at the end, okay? Whatever it is that you are struggling so hard to have, you're struggling so hard to get, whatever it is that whenever you see, you really want it, I want this, I want to have it. If you cannot afford it thrice, don't buy it. You have no business getting an item and being broke immediately after. Okay? So if you're seeing my slide, this is supposed to be you. That's a mistake. If you are still struggling, even though you know you cannot afford it, and something keeps telling you, you need to buy it, you need to buy it, give it 3 days. After 3 days, there is a high probability that you just realize that I can live without this thing. There are other things I have already that if I put together in a different way, I can do without this thing. Until you can afford it thrice, Don't buy. You don't need it. Gain mastery over impulsive spending. Two ways: the rule of tries and the 3 days rule. Both of them works. Now let's move to the gig delivery. Because we're in a gig economy, we are always delivering gigs, right? Either you are ghostwriting, you are copywriting, you are doing some brand comms, you are creating content, you are shooting videos, you are hosting events, you are handling the back end for some kind of events, you are planning an event planner, whatever it is that you are. Spend 70% or less on projects and keep 30% minimum, minimum 30% on profits. 30% on profit. Minimum. Some persons make as much as 70% on profit. Yes, I've met creatives that make that. Then I've met a very interesting set of creatives that would charge a 1 million naira for a gig. And when I ask them, oh, how much did you make from this deal? They'll tell me a 1 million naira. And I'm like, no, I did not ask you how much you were paid. I'm asking how much you made. No, no, no. Nancy, I made a 1 million naira. I said, okay, so how much were you paid? Oh, they paid me a 1 million naira. And I'm looking at the person trying, like, don't you get it yet? And 65% of us don't get it yet. That you were paid 1 million naira for a deal does not mean you made 1 million naira. How? Let me give you an example. I'm an MC. I charge 1 million naira for an event, right? I'm gonna dress up to the event. So I'm gonna buy clothes. I'm gonna do my hair. I'm gonna do some nice makeup. Maybe I'm gonna go with my assistant. I'm gonna fuel my car. If I don't have my car, I'm gonna go with an Uber. Five, right? What else? Of course, I'm going to eat. That's for a physical event. If I'm hosting a virtual event, if my house isn't conducive, I have to go to a workspace or a hotel. I have to pay my internet. I have to look good. And some brands will say, oh, you have to wear some particular colors because we are that branded. At the end of the day, did I make 1 million? Yes or no? Somebody tell me in the comments. Did I make 1 million? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments, guys. Did I make 1 million? I was paid 1 million, but I did not make 1 million. The funniest part is that I see creatives forget that in gig delivery, there is something called costs. I've not even added my time. So, what is the cost of your gig delivery? That is why when someone prices me or comes at me with a particular price point, I am not interested in the conversation. I'm not even going to answer you. I'm not even going to show up at all because my time alone to deliver that gig alone, the cost, the price you're offering does not even cover the cost. So next time, when you want to think about pricing, when you want to say, oh, I charge 100K, I want you to sit down. Even if you've not held 100K before, sit down and do this mathematics I just did for you as an MC and ask yourself, does this amount give me profit? As an MC, I'm not interested in jumping on stages every other day or every weekend. No. I'm interested in staying in pro. That is why a lot. If you watch the marketing video I put out for this webinar, I said it is easy for people to believe that you have because you are always perceived to have. Every single week, Nancy is on a stage emceeing or speaking, and those stages are international stages. How can she be asking me for 50K? What did she use her money do? What if Nancy has been charging 100K for events? How does she remove 30% profit and 70% for the project when the entire payment she takes for the gig does not even cover the project wholly? In managing your money as a creative, you need to pay attention to your gig delivery. It is so important, it is overlooked, it is misunderstood gravely and greatly. And I do not want you to do that. That is why this webinar is for you. All right. Now let's talk about okay, that is gig delivery. Now, how do you track? The first thing that puts things in perspective before we get to invoicing and bookkeeping is for you, as someone in the gig economy, go print your bank statement. You know, sometimes I say, oh, I've not made money this year. I've not made money this year. Oh my God, I've not made money this year. I need to make money this year. And then I just sit down and I print my account statement. And you don't need to go to the bank to do that. You can just open your app and print it. They'll send it to your email. Put an email there, they'll send it to you. I want you to sit down. If you can, print it out. I printed mine out and I sat down with it and I was like, I told myself I have not made how much XYZ amount this year. And I printed my account statement from January from all my banks. As I sat down there looking at that statement, I felt like they gave me the wrong, when you are writing jam and post UME, if you get like 390, you say, oh, I got 390. If you get 201 or 194, you say, they gave me 194. You get that? Hey. I felt like they gave me a statement that was not my own. Because the money I was seeing is not money anymore, it's monies. The monies I was seeing, I was punching calculator on my phone. At a point, I said, it's like my phone, it's not my phone, it's malfunctioning. Because we do not invoice. We don't understand bookkeeping. So in our heads, we've not made money. No, we have made money. We have just not managed the money we've made. We've not managed it properly. How can we, now understanding our errors, manage our monies properly? That's where we're going now. Number one is automations or automations, but under automations, the first thing I want to talk about is your bank. Your local banks in any country where you are, because I understand I don't just have a Nigerian audience, I have audience from all over the world. I need you to pay attention to automations. The very first one is your bank, your local bank, right? There's something called standing order. So standing order tells your bank, you just fill a form and you let your bank know that on the 20th of every month, I want you to remove XYZ from my account balance. So they take it out for you. They can send it to any other account you want. They take it out for you. They can move it from current to savings. They can do whatever you want with it. You just place it. You just keep that standing order, right? Every particular day of a month, you can say every Monday, take out this amount, put it in this account. That is number one. Why is automation important? Because sometimes as human beings, we know that this thing is good. We know that if we do it, it's going to be impactful, it's going to change our lives. But I've seen a shoe I want to buy now. If I remove this money, I will not be able to afford that shoe. Let me just leave it. I'll save it next month. with a standing order. As you go to bed thinking of waking up to buy the shoe, when you wake up in the morning, the order has sent the money out of your account. You will not rest in Jesus' name. It's, you are angry, but you're grateful, right? So you've taken the power from impulsive buying, and you're still in charge because you place that standing order. That is standing order. You can do that with your local banks, okay? The second one is the vault system. What is the vault system? In a local bank, if you walk into a bank and say, "Oh, I want to access your vault," which in the olden days was where our parents put their documents, land deeds, land titles, CFOs. They put it in a bank. They go to the vault, open a vault account, and put it in the bank physically. Now, the thing about the vault is that whether there is fire, there is water, the whole earth is submerged, the vault does not crack open because of the fabrication, the way it has been fabricated. Okay? There is a system that fabricates it, that it is shielded from even natural disasters. Yes. Now, the vault system I'm asking you to do, that was analog, I dare say. There's a digital version of vault systems. What am I talking about? Now you can go download apps like Carrywise, like Piggyverse, like Economy, put in some good money there, and go inside of the app and activate something called Vault. What does Vault do? If you put money in the vault of any of these apps I've mentioned and others that I have not mentioned, in case you know some, I'm sticking to these ones because I have used them. I can talk about them authoritatively. I've navigated their platforms thoroughly all round. Okay. When you put your money in these vaults, it is you that puts the dates you want to have access to the money. So whether the sun is going out of the sky, the moon is turning red, whether your dog gave birth to a cat, whether your cockroach has become a mice, that vault does not open. You will decide when you want it to open. You set the date ahead of time. You see that date you put there, nothing changes it. If you set December 31st, if it is not December 31st, you will not get your money back. Guess what this has done for me personally? It makes me very creative. Okay, people come to me, "Nancy, I need this. Nancy, can you help?" I don't have. You know me say I don't get money. I have money. It's just that I don't have access to the money that I have. It's my money, but I don't get access. So it saves you from black tax. You see that tax from your family and friends, people that don't bother to know how you even come about the money you make in the first place, but they feel that whenever they are in need, they can just buzz your phone and you must send them the money because they are entitled to you, to your finances, maybe because they are part of your family, maybe because they are your friends, maybe because they're your uncles, and they were there the day your mother was married, they were there the day they gave birth to you, they follow and bet you when you were daycare, and they change your pampers, it's kind of, you understand, those are black taxes. And when you say I do not have, you will not feel bad because it's not like you had access to the money and you not give. True, you not get out. All right. So the vault systems in these apps will really, really help you in managing your money. I'm still going to talk about some of these apps I'm mentioning today in terms of multiplying your money because a lot of Nigerians are underutilizing some of those tech apps right now. And it's amazing to see what they can do. And how do I know about this? I've been privileged. I'm even emceeing another one tomorrow to MC a lot of tech events over the past 1 year. And when I sit with the founders, the co-founders, and we talk about the app. In fact, they show me things on the app I didn't know was there. And I've gone to check the same feature or similar feature. Nigerians are underutilizing some of these apps. Okay. So that is it for vault systems. Now we talk about borderless savings and investments. Today I'm going to focus on savings. Next week we're going to go further into investments. All right. Borderless savings. Um, your country, if you're not in Nigeria, I was in Kigali recently, and I on the road I was going to what was I going to? I think I was going to Kiyovu. And somewhere I saw an ad, like a full billboard by Binance. I was like, wow. So when I started talking with with people, the locals, they're like, oh yes, some of them trade crypto. You can make payments for local products on Binance. And I go, you say? Say yeah, yeah, you can. I say your government allows that. He said yes. So I found that to be quite interesting because at some point my own government over here, um, in an attempt to protect us, the citizens, because we believe that everything the CBN does is to protect Nigerians, they had to put a ban on on activities on Binance and crypto activities really. But leaving crypto activities for now, there are apps, there are options that allow you to explore borderless savings. So you can save in Indian rupee, you can save in Turkish lira, you can save in US dollars, you can save in pound sterling, whichever currency you want to save in. From Nigeria as a Nigerian or from any country of the world that you are in. Okay, so you might want to check Trove, might want to check Bamboo, you might want to check RiseVest, Wealthify, Invest Engine. There are loads and loads of them. Okay. If you send me a DM on Instagram, maybe I will share that. If you notice, I did not put that on my slide. I don't know where we are with the regulations right now in my country, and I am particularly a patriot. Yeah, Steven says something really, really interesting. He says, even on emergency. Yes, Steven, remember that at the beginning, somewhere we spoke about emergency funds. Now, the monies you put in the vault system are not your emergency money. Emergency money is accessible. Emergency money on our economy, we have something they call float. So you can put money that can help you solve an emergency. Let's say you need to get out of the country really fast, or you need to get to an embassy, or you need to get to the hospital, or whatever you consider an emergency. If you use the float options on these apps that help your life, really, you are good to go. But I am emphasizing on the vault system because it helps you manage money, especially as a creative. All right. Automate your payment channels for international transactions. Guys, we spoke about this the last time, and I'm talking about it again today because I don't know how long it will take for creatives to learn to charge in other currencies. I'm a Christian, and one of the verses of the Bible I love so much is that verse that says, "As far as your eyes can see." My God, I think God was talking to Abraham when he asked him to go on the journey, and he was wondering, where exactly am I going? And he's telling him, I'll make you a father of many nations. Look into this. I hope I'm not mixing it up, but I remember him saying, as far as your eyes can see. So my question to you as a creative is, how far can you see? And it's not just because of your response to me tonight. What tells me how far you can see is in your preparedness. Is in your preparedness. How do I know your level of preparedness? Number one, and in fact, the only thing I want to talk about today, because we're talking about managing money, is your ability to charge in other currencies. I've been privileged to host events outside of Nigeria. I've been privileged to host events in Nigeria for foreign clients. And they paid me in other currencies. They paid me in dollars, they paid me in pounds, they paid me via other means. Do you, as even a photographer, have the capacity to receive payments in other currencies? Creativity is borderless. As a creative, any skill you have in Nigeria is useful outside of the shores of this country. But how do they pay you? How do you receive money when you don't have the channels, when you've not enabled the channels to do that? Automate your payment channels for international transactions. If you're still wondering what I'm talking about, you need to go see the first episode where we talked about making money as a creative. Okay, that shows you towards the end, you'll see how to get your international bank accounts, get your virtual cards, so that you and Facebook will not be fighting over your card issues, the $20 spending limits, and all of that. All right. So all of that is in the very first episode. Okay. All right, guys. I really wanted to keep this to an hour, and I'm happy I am doing that. Okay. So this is the second episode of the Money Metrics on Navigate with Nancy. This month we are talking about the theme for the month is the Money Metrics. Last week we spoke about making. Today we are talking about managing, and next week we will be talking about multiplying money as a creative. So whatever money you think you've made, I'm going to be showing you how to multiply that, not really by actively working. You're going to be seeing some ways of passively earning income as a creative, and that will be next week, 8 p.m. on the dot. So, guys, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I am here for your questions. So, shoot, shoot, shoot. Who got a question? Who got a question? Who has a question in here? Okay. Steven says the spelling of those savings would help. I believe you mean those the apps I mentioned. Send me a DM on Instagram. Don't send on Facebook. I am not in my messengers. My messenger is on steroids. I don't know what's going on there. So send me a DM on Instagram. Remind me. I have a list. I have a slide. In fact, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. Okay. Okay. I'm just going back. You know my how I do. Where is Okezie Nelson? You guys know how I do it here. I'd like to appreciate everybody who's shown up here. Thank you for your time. It's almost 1 hour of actively sharing knowledge and blessing lives. Who is passing the offering baskets? It's time to pass the offering. Somebody collect the offering, please. In foreign currencies. Okay, Zed Nelson, thank you. Lebechi Onoa, thank you. Lucky Ebube, thank you. Sika Digitals. Sika, thank you for being here. Steven, thank you. Lucky Ebube, thank you. Joy Ene Oji. I think I saw this your picture on was it Instagram I saw it recently? You are welcome, girl. Thank you for being here. Okay. Who am I missing? CC Red, sister girl, thank you. Thank you for being here. I got that. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Next week we will be multiplying money as creative. You will be learning how to earn money in your sleep. These things they're not said online. You can't Google them. Some of them I paid good money with my either with money or with my time, but there was an investment for that knowledge to come out. I'll be sharing with you here next week, multiplying money as a creative. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you don't just listen. I hope you apply everything you've learned. And I hope when I meet you, you are going to be managing your money more effectively. Hope Ogunka, thank you. Yes, this video will remain on YouTube. All our series are on YouTube. You can always refer, you can always bring people back to it. Yes, it's on YouTube. All right, guys. Steven, send me a DM on Instagram. I'll send it to you, all right? All right, guys. Have a good night. Bye.